that are not comfortable for white people. They're not comfortable for them to talk about the possibility that Africans were here before the Europeans. So what do you do with the heads in Mexico that you find at San Lorenzo, at Tres Zapotes? What do you do with those? All right? You ignore them. What do you do with Columbus's diary that says the Africans know a way to the west, but it goes around the doldrums, we would never survive? What do you do with that? You ignore it. What do you do with Balboa's diary that says we came upon this African village in the isthmus? How did these Africans get here? What do you do with that? You ignore it. Why? To preserve the myth that the Europeans were here first. What do you do with all of this written literature and history that says that Abubakar II of Mali sent 200 ships to the west? One came back and said they were afraid that the others disappeared. And then to have Balboa find this village that looks just like Mali, where he was, what do you do with this information? You ignore it. You ignore it. Why? To preserve the myth of white superiority. That's what our whole educational process is devoted to. What do you do with this whole history? This is a written history, my dear. Written. I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm not talking about a griot said this. I'm not talking about something handed down from one generation to the other through voice. I'm talking about written history of the Egyptians. What do you do with this? You ignore it.
Did you know that Alec Baldwin meant to pull that trigger? This conspiracy theory is guaranteed to blow your mind. As you know, Alec Baldwin shot Helena Hayes October 21st, 2021 on the set of a movie called Rust. He claimed it was an accident and the gun shouldn't have been loaded. But did you know that Helena Hayes spent most of her professional career battling elite sexism and sexual harassment to the point where she walked away from films because if she didn't do a certain deed, she wouldn't get it. And she spent a lot of time doing investigations on the darker side of the world, releasing documentaries, exposing them. And she was apparently working on one to expose human trafficking in Hollywood in the elite society. And when an Illuminati member, Alec Baldwin, got the call, he cocked the gun, like he admitted to in an interview, and he shot her. Do you think Helena Hayes' death was really an accident? You let me know.
We all use water bottles, don't we? We all do. Especially as kids growing up and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They be talking about, get your Gatorade, get your orange juice. All them hoes coming in plastic bottles with the BPAs, the PFOAs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I've been all over this for like the last 3 or 4 weeks and they've been silencing my whole account, my whole ass account. BPAs, PFOAs, keep learning, superhumans being reported. Nigga, I've been all over it. But this algorithm been all over me. So if you don't see my black ass, just know. But anyways, check this out, y'all. 4 out of 5 British teens have hormones upset by gender-bending chemicals. And sorry, I'm trying to drive and read, y'all. Do you see that? 4 out of 5. Somebody run the stats? Like I said, I'm driving and they gonna censor this anyways, so it's not gonna get to nobody. But fuck it. You see what they're spraying up there? That's how 90% of our crops look, right there. They throw a chemical on them called atrazine, a herbicide, basically, to make this, you know, kill the bugs and to make them last longer. But what they don't tell you is that same herbicide, and I'm driving, y'all, sorry for all the movement, literally changes the chemical makeup of your body. And it's been on record, on record. These people do not care about us, me and you. They care about profit. They care about their products sitting inside the store for weeks on end and not going bad. They don't care what happens to little Johnny, right? Fucking 3 generations from now, because he's been eating all these crops that are not right for people because we put all these chemicals on them that don't belong in your body. I mean, take a look right here. Subject to a hella controversy and delays puberty and chemical castration for males. Guys, it's not right. Do you like your nuts? Basically is what they're saying. Because if you do, you wouldn't be using this shit. I value my 2 boys. Now look, let's go over to PubMed, right? because at least these are doctors telling you what's actually going on. Everywhere else you can say, you know, farmers have opinions. Now these are doctors, scientists. Oh, damn. You know what, y'all, the planet sinister. Just take a read. Basically, the number 2 chemical that they use, the number 1 chemical that they use in the United States is attacking the male genitalia. All the fast food you eat attacks the male genitalia and your mind. And the ice on the cake, right? The water you drink attacks the male genitalia. Bro, it's not hard to make a case here. It's not hard to make a case. You know what's harder to do? Make a case as to why they keep silencing my account. Ooh, I can make a case on that. They don't want y'all having this info. Peace.
So I came across this video posted by DJ Inkings of Wendy Williams acting weird. If you pay attention to her eyes, they go buck and black and she never blinks. She looks kind of like a robot in the face. The responses seem programmed and even her face seems programmed to sync with her responses. Now, I watched this video of Joe Biden's recent speech and his eyes do the same thing. They go buck and black. Now, they both went away for some time. He had COVID, her show ended. They both came back acting this way. I think this is MK Ultra. What do y'all think?
Let's see it, Wendy. Let's see it.
Gigantic ring.
Ooh, it's so beautiful. What you got to say for the camera?
He's out buying, getting stuff. I'm waiting for him to come back.
Every day we rely on law enforcement to save lives. Then on January 6th, we relied on law enforcement to save our democracy. Police were heroes that day. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Every day we rely on law enforcement to save lives. Then on January 6th, we relied on law enforcement to save our democracy. Police were heroes that day.
So I'm in Walmart right now, and all the food aisles have caution tape on it. All of them. Caution tape. Not for sale. Caution tape. These are the meats and wings and stuff. Look at the meats over there. Caution tape. It's like all the food is bad in here. What the hell? I've never seen this at a Walmart where you can't buy anything because everything went bad. Hey, yo, I'm over here trying to get some groceries. What the hell is this? Look at this. Look at this. Caution, can't eat none of this. Wow, dog. Can't make this up.
New Yorkers, I've heard about the leave in the hurry bag. I've seen the wall that they're building around the Capitol. Here's my take on what's about to happen. Scenario. Russia invades the U.S. by sending a nuke to the Capitol. After the nuke hits, the explosion is going to wipe out hundreds of miles, maybe. At that point, Russia and Ukraine, or just Russia, is going to invade. That will be the time when the people take back the land. The world's quarrels are not with the people of the U.S. It's with the governmental system that has oppressed us and pushed their ways onto other countries. Russia is saying, get out the way.
Have to be diligent about the things that we're eating. If you're eating seedless grapes, all right, seedless watermelons, think about a human body. We all have seeds in us too. The man has seeds that produce a child. The woman has seeds that produce a child. What would a seedless man be like, or a seedless woman? They would be sterile. So there's a gene called a terminator gene that was invented by a company to take away seeds so that farmers could be dependent on biotechnology companies like
Soylent Green is people! Let's discuss a classic 1970s dystopian movie known as Soylent Green. So this movie is made in the 1970s and it's about a dystopian future based in 2022. So in the movie, the future is set in 2022. And the movie is about a dystopian nightmare's future where there are a bunch of food shortages. And in the movie, the only food source are these mysterious little green crackers known as Soylent Green. It is the only food source, and the government tells people that it's a miracle food of high-energy plankton gathered from the oceans of the world. But one man decides to investigate this, and he reads a book on marine biology, and he found out that planktons are extinct. So the Soylent Green crackers are not made from plankton, so what are they made from? So he decides to investigate, visits one of these factories where they're producing Soylent Green, and this poor man is horrified to find out that Soylent Green is made from recycled dead human bodies and then it's fed to the people. And it's interesting that this movie might parallel with what's going on now. Number one, it's based in 2022. This movie was made in the 70s. Number two, we legit have a vegan product called Soylent, just like Soylent Green. And Soylent saw major setbacks over the past 2 years, including a temporary halt to sales after customers reported becoming severely ill. Soylent recently recalled its food bar, and we use the term food loosely here, after dozens of complaints emerged that this product was causing nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, and other symptoms. Maybe it's soy protein made from human remains. That's what's making people sick. It's called Soylent after all. Another coincidence, it's 2022 just like in the movie, and we have fake meat now. Quality meats made from people like you. Not too long ago, a vegan burger was hyped for tasting like human meat, and it wins an award for that. That is so bizarre. To make things even stranger, steak was grown from human cells, and it sparks interest and outrage. And then we got this thing called the Green New Deal, where they want people eating fake meat to, better help the world somehow. And then you got bizarre posts from the news like this one from the New York Times. Cannibalism has a time and a place. Some recent books, films, and shows suggest that the time is now. Can you stomach it? Excuse me? I never trusted any kind of meat from McDonald's or a lot of fast food places. A lot of it doesn't even smell or taste like beef. It's a very odd taste and smell. I am sketched out by it. I don't want none of that mystery meat. And some of their mascots are legit creepy clowns, and you guys know my view on clowns. I do not like them. So, what do you guys think? Huge thank you to all my patrons. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me and helping me find more time to make videos like this. Hope you enjoy this, and let me know any other suggestions that you would like to see in terms of topics.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys know who this is right here. Desi Banks, a pretty known comedian. And you may or may not know who this is. A well-known podcaster by the name of Wallow. Let's take a look at this conversation they had together.
Has it ever been a time where it's though? Have you ever got a visitor? A visitor? Like somebody comes to your house? How can I explain this? When you're getting to certain levels and you're growing up, somebody comes see you. And when I come talk to you, somebody come and see you and to help you go to the next level. A lot of people, you know how you might see somebody that's not that talented or not that funny or whatever, and all of a sudden they be all the way up here and you trying to figure out how that happened. Now I'm going to rephrase this question. Have anybody came to visit you?
Nah, hell no. Nah. I don't think they going to try to do that.
I'm just saying.
Hell no.
Okay, so I know I'm late on this, but dude, what is this? Apparently this video was recorded the same day, and I want you to keep this in mind too. Okay, so I know this one's pretty low quality, but this is the Biden's eyes right here, and this is Jim Carrey's. Just food for thought, not saying anything.
Inflation. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. Bringing down gas prices is a big part of the job. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Here's the good news. Gas prices have dropped every day this summer. That's more than 40 days in a row. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. We now have 40,000 gas stations in the United States where the price of gas is $3.99 or less. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. How do we get the price down?
Alright, y'all are gonna trip on this. This is no camera trick or any fuckery like that. Alexa, where did Joe Biden fall off his bicycle?
Joe Biden died in National Naval Medical Center.
Alexa, when did Joe Biden die?
As far as I know, Joe Biden is alive. He was born on November 20th, 1942 and is 79 years old.
Alexa, where did Joe Biden fall off his bicycle?
Joe Biden died in National Naval Medical Center.
Holy moly donuts.
I don't know that.
Crazy shit.
First things I did when I started researching Bill Gates, one of the first things I found out was that through his foundation and through the Gavi Alliance, they've been doing all these tests in developing nations that are hurting people, they're killing people, and he's putting millions and millions of dollars into this. And I even have a quote here that I'm going to read later, but people are wondering, why is it that he's spending so much money on these millions and hundreds of millions of dollars on these that are literally killing children?
People in these third world countries are calling it genocide. They're literally running in some cases from the in some cases they're killing the people who are sending the
Syria and all these countries, they're actually killing them. They're saying they've said on record they think they're coming there to kill their children.
And Bill Gates cares so much about these he won't even save the lives of the workers who are dispensing the by withdrawing those programs. He just wants to continue them no matter what.
Yeah, he's just going to keep it going. He doesn't care. And it just keeps happening. If I went into your house and I permanently brain damaged your child and paralyzed him forever, I would go to prison, and rightfully so. This man can hide behind his cutesy organizations and initiatives with all of his billions of dollars and paralyze tens of thousands of children, and it's fine, nothing happens. It makes no sense. This is just a few things I wanted to mention to our audience. He's got a thing called Great Challenges, and he gives out money to different professors and scientists all across the country for different sets of initiatives that he wants them to fulfill. And here's just a few of the things that I found in looking that he's funding right now. Fetuses, through rice, the genetically engineered rice that has a in it.
Edible.
Nanoparticles, skin patches, mosquitoes. There's actually a clip we don't have time, but mosquitoes, he will release those on people without their knowledge, so that's wonderful. Genetically engineered stomach bacteria, that's a platform for diarrhea. Contraceptive that sterilize rats. I mean, it
goes on and
He got a patent on that in 1950. And those early balloons were so large, they didn't have any way to launch them, except they actually launched them from aircraft carriers.
Modern scientific ballooning was born. It was also the genesis for NASA's newly developed super pressure balloon.
The reason for super pressure ballooning is they have absolutely stable altitude, day, night, and it doesn't matter how cold the atmosphere is. They are sealed.
So your shape is always the same, you always displace the same amount of air, and therefore you have the same amount of buoyancy all the time.
This day-to-night altitude stability allows super pressure balloons and the sun.
Hi, I'm Matt, and this is NASA Now.
NASA's been using balloons for science research for over 30 years. The exploration that can be done on balloons is continuing to grow. The standard balloon that I fly is about 660 feet long when it's made. So when it's inflated, it's over 400 feet tall by 440 feet wide. Think of a dome stadium. That's how big my balloons are.
So let me get this straight. It is now public knowledge that they send up satellites on massive helium-filled balloons. As you should know, NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world, for obvious reasons. But the issue with society is that they never critically think. Just think for a second here. If these are sent up to provide the world with all of the important information we need, and I'm sure the entire process is expensive and difficult to accomplish, then please explain to me what in the flat world do these pathetic animations do for you? Do they make you happy inside? Are they so super duper cool that you cannot see past the obvious CGI? The fact of the matter is everything NASA sends up on a balloon simply hovers above our motionless Earth. That is why they rarely speak about orbiting satellites, and of course, they never show footage. Here is some footage of a random evening with a man, the moon, and his Nikon P900. Notice anything floating up there?
Forget it, Bart. It's so bright out you can't see anything in the sky except the Fox satellite.
You know, I'm not saying that people can't look similar, but when you're this famous and there's people back in the day who looks exactly like you, it makes you wonder. Look, I know people seen this. It literally looks just like him. Great ancestor? That one's a stretch, right? How about your boy Johnny Depp? Oh, what are you doing over there, Justin? Is that your great-great-great-grandpa? Anybody know who that is? It's just crazy how similar these people look. It's also crazy how this guy had power back in his day, and he has power in this day, and they look exactly alike. And not too many people look like that. You're gonna call it Photoshop, right? This one trips me up. You know who that is? Because I know you know who that is. Got more for you. What do you guys think? That's the same freaking person. I bet you there's even more instances than what I could find. Too similar. So yeah, I agree. People can look similar to each other, but this stuff is just freaky. Honestly, I don't know. All I'm saying is it's crazy. Look at these two. Tell me they don't look alike. Okay, now I seen someone saying this is the same person. No, it's not. There's dude's name right there. Crazy, right? Funny how you say vampires. Maybe a little bit of a stretch, but I just thought it was funny. Now tell me that's not the same person. Well, it's not, but that's crazy. Check that out. Here's the name of this guy, because people were wondering. And then obviously that's Mark Zuckerberg. I think he was the king of France. Both have power. There's another one. There's the name of that girl. Now you guys love this one. There's his name. There's Big Alec. Don't they look just alike? Just fluffier? Guess that's Pope Gregory. Look into it. Check that one out. Now, I don't know if these people are vampires, clones, what they are, but these resemblances are crazy.
Guys, they found a doorway on Mars. Have you seen this? Just last week, Mars Curiosity rover took this picture. I don't know about you, but I really think it looks like a purposely carved doorway in the side of a mountain on Mars. But scientists at NASA say it's just a place two rocks fractured due to weathering. It actually reminds me of that one conspiracy theory about Mars being our original home, but we made it uninhabitable, and then we moved to Earth and lost all the history on it. That one's crazy. What's your guys' opinion about the doorway?
Guys, today I'm going to explain how they hide our second sun, other celestial bodies, advanced technology, UFOs, and anything else that they don't want you to see. You might want to stick around.
The Craziest Celebrity Conspiracy Theories Part 2. Keanu Reeves is immortal. The theory claims that he has lived through time with many identities. The first of which is Charlemagne from 748 to 814. He crowned his son just before dying as though he knew he was going to die. Secondly, his burial was rushed during cold weather, which is claimed to be a clear hint that they needed to bury a body to not raise any suspicion. By the late 19th century, the actor we now refer to as Keanu Reeves fell in love with his chosen profession for the first time. And here appears the second identity of Paul Mounet from 1847 to 1922. He was a doctor first and then an actor. It is said that Paul Mounet died of heart failure in 1922, although his body was never found. The theory also states that he has never actually denied his immortality. On his appearance on Jimmy Fallon, when asked if anyone had tried to get him to change his name to something else, Keanu told a story of how he had come up with
Chuck Spadina.
The theory clocked on to how Chuck is shorthand for Charles, which is shorthand for Charlemagne. Jimmy then continues to question him about the website, Keanu Reeves as Immortal. As Jimmy Fallon proceeds to present the evidence of the identities, Keanu Reeves calls out what sounds to be a modest attempt at an explanation.
I just wanted to show you just in case. We're all stardust, baby. I know.
Do you believe in this theory?
If you were told that the Earth was a flat disk, would you believe it? Millions of people now believe in the flat Earth theory. Supporters of the flat Earth theory believe that the Earth is a sphere is a lie to deceive the whole world, and there is an organization, the Flat Earth Association, which conducts the International Conference on Flat Earth Theory every year. The group includes wealthy businessmen who make their own rocket testimonies, former NASA staffers, NBA star Irving and rapper B.O.B., supporters of the idea that the Earth is a flat disk. The center of the disk is the North Pole. The outermost circle of the disk is the South Pole. The Sun and Moon are parallel over the disk. The distance between the Sun and the Moon to the Earth is between 4,800 kilometers and 8,000 kilometers. The Sun and the Moon are rotating over the disk of the Earth at the same time. Where it can shine is day, and where it cannot shine is night. The Flat Earth theory also doesn't believe in gravity and explains why people jump and fall. Because the Earth is like an elevator that keeps going up, so it jumps up and falls down. There is also the circumnavigation, not north and south, only east and west. The circumnavigation is nothing more than a concentric circle around the Earth. And the United Nations has long known that the Earth is flat, because the United Nations logo is the best proof. The Flat Earth theory also states that if you look closely at the moon at night, there are clouds behind it, which means the moon is not that high at all. Between 4,800 and 8,000 kilometers. Humans have never landed on the moon and never been to outer space. The pictures from outer space are lies. These lies are just for the brainwashing of mankind to deceive the world. The South Pole is the edge of the Earth, and it is strictly guarded from entry in order to prevent man from stepping out of the Earth and discovering the secrets of another world. The Flat Earth theory also says that we are all being cheated, that we are being controlled by higher civilizations, that we are being watched like fish in a tank, to teach humans that the Earth is spherical, to keep people from knowing that the Earth can go out. Can you believe it?
Think about this for a moment. When an artist signs his name on the dotted line to a record company, the record company will in many cases own all of the masters for the songs recorded under that contract. And when an artist signs to a major label, it's safe to say that their death is in many ways factored into the initial investment. And in many ways, after an artist has peaked in popularity, there becomes an awkward point in their career where the artist is worth more to them dead than alive.
Mad at him due to the business that he did. Yeah. And I can't even say mad is that they didn't have a part of it. Let's be real. I'm gonna say it out there straight for everybody listening. My uncle didn't die. He was murdered. I feel the same thing about Prince. We're losing a lot of stars because you have to remember, these are basically insurance policies. When he dies, whatever was owned by the company reverts back. We're not talking about $100,000. We're not talking about $1 million. We're talking about billions of dollars. Notice that when my uncle dies, why do you hear all his music? Why is there a Motown cartoon out now? Okay, well, obviously when my uncle was alive, he wasn't giving the rights to anybody. But when he dies, all of a sudden...
I don't care what nobody say, this a reptilian. Now pay close attention right here, y'all. Man, that's a reptilian shapeshifter, man. Stop playing with me, man.
I was watching Scary Movie 3-1.
You know, there's so many magnetic waves traveling in the airspace because of TV and television. We're losing 10 times as many brain cells as we're supposed to. Oh, please.
Truth in Plain Sight.